thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
And welcome to this late starting edition of the Brian Snow Show. And I want to thank you all for having my back, staying with me as I get all this stuff organized. I decided to make today a very, very personal show. Ryan McCoffey has joined us. The Bunker TV, a very, very dear friend who's always had my back since the day I met him last year. I decided to make this a very, very personal edition because, well, upon the advice of a friend of mine, even though I've had guests on the show, great ones, and I still replay their interviews on my network or any other network that wants to house the show, including the folks at WQEE in Atlanta, I decided to make this a restart and decided to make this episode 1 because today is a day of restarting for me. Today is a day to get the word out there for me. Today is the day that on my show, my afternoon show, I tell my story and the hell with what everybody else thinks. I've done this a couple times on the morning show, and as y'all can see, I'm on the verge of tears, but the hell with it. I got to put it out there. I have to get it out there. So if you all will stick with me, I'm going to go for it. I'll begin the story in 2018. 3 years prior to, I'll start in 2015 actually. I had just come out of a very abusive relationship, physically, emotionally, and mentally. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how much I lost. I didn't know how much, if I could gain anything. I just said, the hell with it, I'm starting over. And it was an odyssey for me to rediscover who I am and rediscover what I am. That took the better part of 3 years, and living with someone twice that kicked me out because I was bringing their value down. And that's exactly how she explained it to me. I am not going to swear here. I will do an episode of Snowman Unfiltered and use all the words I won't use here because we are over the air. And thank you, Ryan O'Neal, for this opportunity. I was at a cliff. I was mentally and emotionally at a cliff. I was at a point where someone said the word rock bottom to me and I completely went off, which landed me in the mental hospital in Michigan City, Indiana in 2017. And I'm glad I got there. I needed a break. I didn't know how bad I needed a break. Fast forward to 2018. I was at a cliff and I was about to walk off that cliff and not come back. Interpret that for what you will, but I mean every word of that. I was going to mentally and emotionally walk off that cliff and not come back. That's when Jody found me. That's when Jody K found me. Good evening, good afternoon to the Hawk TV. But yeah, it was July of 2018 where Jody pulled me back from that cliff and said, "No, you're not walking off that cliff." And that's the first time she rescued me. That's the first time she rescued me. And since that day, I have been over the top in love with Jody K. So much so that it was with great pleasure on June 25th, 2019, that I gave her my last name. It was something I wanted to do and someone I needed to find, or she needed to find me. Since then, we have gone through a lot. Gone through a lot, y'all. We lived in Terre Haute, got evil stares from any and everybody. Moved to North Carolina, got even more evil stares from any and everybody. Jody brought me the one thing I wanted, a family. Though these kids are not mine, I love them like they are mine. Sonia, Cheyenne, Dakota, my son. And I love them with all my heart. I didn't know how they would take to me or take me. And the same held true about Jody. Because y'all know, 90% of the time I'm a walking goofball. I'm a walking goofball. And I love those children and subsequently my grandchildren with all my heart. With all my heart. We have been through a lot together, Jody and I. 2 separate moves. One was dictated by an opportunity that did not happen. And the second was dictated by health issues on my end. And you're right, Ryan McCarthy, Dr. K indeed. I'm shaking because I am bearing my soul completely. I'm completely bearing my soul for this hour. When you're in an interracial marriage, you get looks of death from any and everybody. And I'll save that part for later. And that's all I'll say on that part. Worked for one company down in North Carolina. I was so stressed out, I let my feelings be known to a coworker. And the next day I was informed, I don't think this partnership is going to work. And I was dismissed. And that's when Jody told me we have to get back on our depression meds. 2 things I suffer from greatly, anxiety and depression. In the last couple of weeks, my anxiety has been through the roof. Why? Which comes to the main point of this program, which I will continue to outline. This portion, this here. My family and I need your help. And Ryan, if you're around, I'd like for you to share something in the chat if you would, please. I have a GoFundMe going for my family that will help us get to the next step, get to the next spot in our lives. As you all know, I had blood clots in both. 2 years ago, I took a fall in my house. My daughter Sonia leapt out of her chair, saw me unresponsive, and called 911 and rode to the rescue. My wife took the call and went from there. And the next thing I knew, I was being transported to Mariah Parham Hospital in Henderson, North Carolina. After an examination that took all of 20 minutes, they told me, we have to get you to Duke Hospital right now. So they did. I rode via helicopter. My wife drove. And I was in Duke Hospital being prepared to have blood sucked out of my lungs because I had blood clots in both my lungs. Had it been any later, I wouldn't be here. And that is the toughest thing for me. One of the toughest things. So after I survived that, they told me I had a mass on my abdomen, and I didn't know what that was. I truly did. But after a month, they diagnosed it was pancreatic cancer. And I can freely admit here, when I got that diagnosis, knowing that it took my dad, that cancer took my dad's life, in many ways, mentally, I quit. Even though I was still doing a show 5 days a week, I was very, very tired. I was checked out. I was stressed out and I was checked out. But you want to know something incredible? And I mean absolutely incredible. Jody would not let me quit. She wouldn't let me quit. Jody wouldn't let me quit. She wouldn't let me check out. The time I was in the hospital for my blood clots, and she had to go home without me, she said, don't quit. Don't you quit fighting. I'm here for you, and I need you to be here for me. And I almost quit. I can't tell y'all how many times in that hospital I almost quit. I almost quit. And I couldn't bring myself to check out. So I was told a man should not have survived the blood clots that I had. And here I am, proud as ever that I'm here. And thank you, Ryan, for that. And Ryan, if you could put my Cash App in the chat also, that will be appreciated. And the ID for those of you listening, GoFundMe.com/help-the-Snowstrong-Family-Initiative. That's the ID that you need. When I got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, like I said, I nearly quit. I nearly said, screw it. But she wouldn't let me. My family wouldn't let me. Which leads to my visits to Duke University Cancer Center. All the examinations, all the hospital stays, being poked and prodded. Being woken up at 2 a.m, because I'm also a diabetic. Being woken at 2 a.m. to have your blood sugar taken, to go through all of that with your heart and your soul, which for me is my wife, not being there, and wondering if she would ever come back. I actually entertained that stupid thought, but I entertained that thought. I did. I entertained that thought. That Jody wouldn't come back for me. Like I said, it was a stupid thought, but I entertained it because I was so broken. Not only did she come back for me, but so did Sonia and everybody. Everybody was checking on me, and I appreciate it. It also led to the fight that I had with Duke University Hospital. On November 29th, after we moved back to Indiana and I was all chemoed out. Which means I had poison in my brain. I couldn't make any correct conscious decisions. And Jody reminds me every day, had we stayed in North Carolina, I'd be in a box. I'd be dead. So she took over the decision making, the major decision making, as I'm still coming back from the chemo and the cancer, to move back here to Indiana where I am now. We went back on November 29th, and I'm jumping all over the place, so just bear with me. We went back to Durham on November 29th, gave us a chance to get away for a weekend. Checked in. They did the exam. They did an examination, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get prepared for surgery. Do you know they told my wife, my beautiful Jody, to get her affairs in order? Because the tumor, according to them, was inoperable. They said the tumor was inoperable. And I couldn't believe it when my wife conveyed the message to me, and it really hit me that they basically said there was nothing they could do. Well, here's the second time that Jody saved my life. Made a phone call to Franciscan Health. That's when I met Emilia Rodriguez, who is my current physician. We went over to across the way to endocrinology, where I met Dr. Raghunath. Told him our entire story. And he said, let me make a phone call. And that phone call went to Dr. Attila Naquib. Within 2 weeks, and this was in March of 2022, within 2 weeks, we had an appointment. So Jody took the day off. We drove to Indianapolis, met Dr. Naquib, and I asked him flat out, can you get this tumor? And his exact words to me were, we'll get it for you. And with that surgical team, they did. There were a few organs I had to have taken out with it, but they got it. April 4th, 2022, my anniversary date of my cancer surgery. When I came to from the anesthesia that night, I saw my wife, I saw my in-laws, and my brain said, we're good. Let's go back to sleep. The next day, Cheyenne calls me via Facebook Messenger, and she says, "Pop, you don't look very good." I broke into tears, and I said, "I don't feel good either." You know what her next question to me was? "Do you need me to come up there?" Yes. I didn't even hesitate. Yes. This young lady, who I am proud to call my daughter, dropped everything she was doing, and she lives in Los Angeles. And I'll talk about her more before we get out of here. She lives in Los Angeles. She dropped everything she did and roared up to Indianapolis. I wake up the next day and she's walking in like a boss because she's a travel ICU nurse. Do y'all know what that did for me? The strength that gave me to continue to keep fighting, and the strength that Jody gave me every day, even though she was at work for most of the day, and she would come see me, and I didn't want her to leave. I didn't want them to leave. So two major crises have been defeated. And the second one, the pancreatic cancer, which grew to stage 4, as of February 15th of this year, I'm in remission. I'm in remission. And I could not be happier. When we got that news, we were dancing. I was yelling like I had scored a game-winning touchdown, and I was just so happy. I was extremely happy. But then it led to a fight and a half that is still going on to this moment. Why is it a fight and a half to this moment? And this is me putting everything out there. Because it involves something that very few organizations in the state of Indiana want to give up. And that is money. That is money to help people who are truly disabled, truly down on their luck, truly try to get something together, and they're not allowed to because they can't get the financial assistance to do so. That's the second half of the show after y'all get back.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
This is Brett, and you're watching Shady Sports Network. Tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? Player signing announcements.
I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, man. I just had a workout with the Cincinnati Bengals. And, signing me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in, The Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills, with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
And then we got Lions wide receiver Williams is debuting this week as a starter. That's something to look at as far as the eye test goes. And then another one on the eye test is Mostert might be coming back to Miami. And we can see if he has a role in this offense and see if he can be viable for the next couple weeks coming and help us in the playoffs and possibly towards a championship. That would be very nice because he's sitting on my bench right now.
So this thing called sports, it has fans again. It has full stadiums, full. So this thing called sports, it has fans again. It has full stadiums, full arenas, and more. And you want to be a part of it, don't you? Of course you do. If you begin to scour the resale market, there will be tickets available. And what you need to get those tickets that you want so badly is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the app available to you that lends a hand in helping you get the tickets that you want for the events that you want. SeatGeek rates the tickets on a 1 to 10 scale, and the best part is the tickets are vetted for authenticity, so you know what you are getting and you know you are not getting scammed. And now you can save even more by using the code Snowman and getting $20 off with your very first purchase. Yes, you can do all of that with the power of SeatGeek, helping you get to the games that you want, so you fans can fan. So let's all fan.
Welcome back. Let's go to the feedback zone. Sick Diggy says you were at a very, very low point at that time. It was overwhelming and intrusive thoughts come with the territory. That's true. He backs it up by saying these are the trials and tribulations you had to go through. Yeah, and those blood clots were a godsend as they began the battle you've overcome. Ryan McCarthy here with us. My mom had the same situation last month. If she didn't have cellulitis, the doctors would have discovered the aortic stenosis, which led to the valve replacement. Saved her life. And that's great. But now here's the dark side of that. Was told by very reliable sources and very close friends that because I had cancer, I can immediately get disability. That turned out to be a lie because I put all the paperwork in. I put all the information in, including my wife's information, and I even asked, do I need to put my wife's information in on this? They said, yeah, because you are legally married, and you have to put her information in on the application. I said, all right, fine. Did that. I got denied. This cancer patient, and I will forever be a cancer patient, even though I'm in remission, got denied. And it messes with me every day that I can't get out here, at least for the time being, and financially help my family. Any man that has a family, you know how important it is to, in your own ways and in the main way, which is financially, take care of them. I carried the family for a while when Jody had her injury, had her Achilles injury, I beg your pardon. And I'm like, the hell with it. I knew what I had to do. I had to keep going back to Amazon in Durham, North Carolina, bring in money and help the family while we all got work at home jobs. And during the process of me having a working job, that's where I got sick. Figure that out. But yeah, I got denied. I got denied disability in the state of Indiana. And it hurt. It hurt and it pissed me off. It royally and emphatically pissed me off that I couldn't get any disability whatsoever. So I got advice from more friends saying, contact a lawyer. I said, all right, because I basically got discriminated against. All right. So I made the contact. I even got 3 recommended lawyers here in Indiana to talk to. And all 3 of them gave me the same answer. Because the reasons I was denied, y'all ready for this? I told this story before, but I'll tell it again. The reasons I got denied for disability, and there were 2 of them. 1, I had not paid enough taxes to collect disability benefits. And the second reason, because of my wife's salary. And when she told me that, I was heated. I am heated. Not was. I am heated. I'm very much heated. I just cannot believe that happened. But then there's a part of my brain that says, why am I not surprised? Seriously, there's a part of my brain that says, why am I not surprised? I shouldn't be surprised. But doggone it. A man's trying to help his family. And y'all want to look at that? Even when I jump through all the hoops that I'm supposed to jump through because I was told because I have cancer, I can immediately get disability benefits, and that turned out to be a big fat lie. As a man, it's a struggle on a daily basis. Let me say that again. As a man, it's a struggle on a daily basis. It's a grind and a half to go through the health problems I went through, including stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And the only thing I have to show for it, well, the biggest thing I have to show for it is the fact that I'm still alive and I still have Jody and I still have my family. But financially, the only thing I have to show for it, and I thank those who have contributed over that time, is a big fat goose egg. Because whenever I do get a contribution via Cash App, it's an immediate use. And that's how I'm setting it up now. I know Cash App's going to be an immediate use. The GoFundMe and the Patreon are going to be long distance uses. And I'm talking about monthly uses where I can bring in at least $1,000 a month doing what I love to do while I'm seeking out sponsors for my programming, while I'm seeking out sponsors for my podcast network. And believe me, there is a podcast network. And I'm going to be working on it today and tomorrow to the point where I'm tempted, very tempted, not to check into my morning show tomorrow because I got so much to do and a short time to get there. But do you know how that feels when you are denied something you desperately need? When you are denied because of a technicality they decide to invoke on you, when they decide to invoke a technicality on you that you can't fight, that lawyers can't fight either. I was flat out told by the lawyers I spoke to, we cannot take your case. And I said, why? Because of the technicality. I said, what technicality? Because of the technicality of you not paying enough to qualify to get disability benefits. I can't even get SSI benefits. And I'm sitting there going, what? I really wish I was kidding around when I say that. I really, really wish I was kidding around when I say that. Unfortunately, I am not kidding around as I say that. I am not kidding around. I am not kidding around when I say I got denied disability benefits on a technicality that, according to them, I hadn't paid enough. When in the state of Indiana, which I am an official resident at this time, I am supposed to immediately qualify for disability benefits because I fought cancer. You know what this tells me? This tells me that this sports loving fan, me, can't get what he needs because I'm a man. And I'm not hating putting it in that blunt context, in that blunt of a statement. With everything that's happened over the past 2 years. Hell, my wife even said if we were still in North Carolina, I bet you we'd get benefits, but I'd also be dead. I'd also lose you. That's what she said to me. She said, I'd also lose you if we stayed in North Carolina. That's all I can think of. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised that that happened? Why, more to the point, why shouldn't I be surprised that that happened? Why shouldn't I be surprised? And why do I hate it so much? Because I'm a man, that happened. All I can think of is, really? That is the only thing I can think of. And you know the most nerve-wracking thing for me? I'm just inclined to think, well, let me change my sentence here. I was just inclined to think that I would just be asking for donations, which I am and will be for the foreseeable future. And that's all I can do. But then when my wife put it in perfect context and said, Use that. Use it. So I am using it. I am indeed using it. The final straw for me came last Friday. Well, actually, it came Thursday and Friday. When in the midst of trying to find online work, remote work that I can do at home while I do my radio shows, I got scammed by a company. And this is the second time it's happened to me. I got flat out scammed, thinking I found the perfect job, and it turned out to be nothing but. And I didn't follow my own gut feeling. I did not follow my own gut feeling that it was a scam. I did not follow my own gut feeling, and it cost me. I'm glad Jody stepped in once again to save the day, and we had to cancel a few things so that our identity would not get exposed. The absolute last straw, I filled out an application for Speedway in Columbus, Indiana, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to work a few hours every day, and I'm going to be ready to roll. I'm going to get this. Well, everything got filled out. Everything got turned in, and I'm ready to I'm ready to get going. I'm ready to, like, okay, I'll get back behind the counter. I know it can be strenuous, but I got to strengthen my body anyway. The manager there, who was absolutely wonderful to me, she said, get your phone, bring it inside, let's get you boarded. Yeah. Then came, well, I have to go through protocol to see if you can be rehired. And the question she asked me, why did you leave your position in North Carolina? Because I got diagnosed with blood clots in both my lungs and pancreatic cancer. Then I got a text message that said, we cannot hire you. Or the message told me, you came back as a non-hire. Thanks for applying. That was the last straw. When I picked up my daughter, and when I picked up my daughter from work and we came home, I went off. I went completely off. I went crazy. And my daughter, Sonia, listened. I'm reminded of the late great Jim Valvano. I'm reminded of the late great Jim Valvano. I'm reminded of the late great Jim Valvano. The greatest gift you can give to a man is your belief in them. Or to all the folks I have gotten to know just over the past couple months, I absolutely adore every single one of you. I can't say it enough. I love you guys so very much. And I'm doing like 3 things at once because I got a boost today from my friend Tyler at Megaphone. They're going to give me 90 days to get the costs together, to get the monthly costs together, to host all the podcasts I intend to host. And I am working to cancel every other subscription that's costing me money. I'm going to stick with Megaphone. And like I said, I got 90 days to make this work, and it's going to work. Let me really thank Ryan O'Radio, Ryan O'Neill, who took a chance on my programming. And I could not be more grateful that we are now on an FM station in Metro Atlanta. An FM station in Metro Atlanta said, yes, we will take you on. And I'm going to work on getting more stations in the South and just going from there. I'm working with another friend of mine to help distribute this hour-long program, and I thought of expanding it. I really have. I thought of expanding it, and I still might, but for over-the-air purposes, I'm going to keep it in an hour. For over-the-air purposes, I'm going to keep it at an hour because it just seems right. And that's my story. So this, my friends, is episode 1 of the brand new version of the Brian Snow Show. I'll still have great guests. I'll have more great guests. And I will definitely continue to build this show with you guys backing me up and helping me. I thank you all for listening to me today, for allowing me to get this out, for allowing me to be very personal with you. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And it's time to get busy. It's time to get rolling. It's time to get moving. It's time to make all the moves, all the next moves, the best moves. If you're viewing this on YouTube, spread the word about Snowman Multimedia. Spread the word about Snowman Multimedia, folks. Because that's where everything will be housed. I appreciate you guys. I love you. And I'll be back with you tomorrow for officially episode 2 of the Brian Snow Show. God bless you. So long, everybody.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.